There's all kinds of reasons a motorized mop is better than the alternative. It can make quicker work of this kind of mess, and it's also a lot less work than this.
Narwhal has just released 2 new upright floor washers, and in this video, I'm going to try them both.
Check out the Narwhal S30 and the S30 Pro. They've got new features like special deodorizer cartridges and a unique waste bag to catch debris. But when these machines struggle to mop up basic spills, I get concerned, and wait till you see what happened when I checked out the anti-hair tangle properties.
I'll put both of them through my standard array of cleaning challenges to see how they do and which one comes out on top. I would like to say thank you to Narwhal for sending me both machines at no cost. While the company did provide them so I could try them out here in my home, it didn't ask for or receive permission to have any input into this review, so these thoughts are all my own.
Let's start with what I'll call the base model, the Narwhal S30. With a suction power rating of 20,000 pascals, Narwhal would have you believe it's powerful, but is it really? Stick around for my cleaning tests. Weighing just under 2 pounds, the S30 is easy to carry and very easy to maneuver, and using it is effortless. It glides over the floor and it swivels well. The S30 has 4 cleaning modes, what's called AI mode, which I think is what most motorized mops used to call auto mode. There's a wood floor mode, which I'll get to. Quiet mode, which lowers the power and suction to operate at a quieter level, and then there's suction mode, which suctions up any spills without adding more water. Finally, max mode uses extra water and cleaning solution to power off bigger and tougher stains. Oddly, I can't seem to easily select max mode on my own, which is kind of frustrating. In addition to the filter inside the dirty water tank, you can now install a special new waste separation bag. These bags are little more than cardboard and very fine mesh netting designed to capture debris and let you toss it out all at once, in theory without needing to get your hands dirty and without having to filter or stream the debris from the liquid yourself. Now, these aren't intuitive to install. The paper frame slides into some grooves inside the dirty tank, and then it clips up under the top lip. After you've used it, you can grab that tab and slide it up and out with all the solid waste inside like a tiny garbage bag. Great idea, but in practice you can see it's not perfect. It's kind of messy and does leave a lot behind that you're still going to need to strain out. Also new in these machines is the option to install a deodorizer cartridge into the debris tank to help mask or minimize smells.
This is actually a nice feature, and it doesn't smell too chemical or unpleasant. The truth is, though, that you really should be cleaning out the dirty water tank after every use so that you don't need to rely on a deodorizer to hide what you didn't clean up.
Narwhal upgraded its rollers to feature more of an edge-to-edge design on both the S30 and the S30 Pro. You can see what that looks like when I wipe up a coffee spill under the toe kicks. It's able to get within a millimeter of the baseboards for a much closer clean that's handy in places like the bathroom. You can also flex both the S30 and the S30 Pro all the way down to 180 degrees so you can vacuum under low furniture with gaps as small as 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters. This works incredibly well for cleaning under the bed.
One of the biggest upgrades the S30 boasts over the previous generation Narwhal S20, which I also reviewed last year, is a new dual layer comb behind the roller brush. This L-shaped comb is supposed to keep hair from winding around the roller.
To test this, I grabbed a little extra hair I snagged from my last visit to the salon and sprinkled it on the floor. You can see the S30 mostly picked it all up, but it was getting caught around the roller edges. When I flipped the machine over when I was done, there is no hair wrapped around the roller, so mission accomplished here, except watch what happens when I remove the roller altogether. There's gobs of hair stuck behind the roller and in all the nooks and crannies. So while it may be true you're not unwinding the hair from the roller, you are still going to have to deal with it. Blech. I also found it left a lot of hair stuck behind on the floors. I wasn't happy, so I ran this test again. I vacuumed up all the hair and then placed the S30 immediately on its dock to run a self-cleaning cycle. And after the full cycle, when I lift the machine off, you can see it's just clumped all the hair into the base and it hasn't suctioned anything up. Does the S30 Pro handle this any better? It claims to. I'll get to that coming up.
Narwhal says it redesigned the roller brush for the S30 by using a softer and fluffier material, which it claims can absorb more liquid. So let's get started on some of my cleaning tests to find out.
With a device like this, I put them all through the same set of cleaning tests. I'll spill coffee and juice, thicker messes like steak sauce, and then I'll create another thicker mess to let it dry to really test the scouring power. Then it's on to a mixed spill like cereal and milk. You saw how well it did with coffee under the baseboards. How does it tackle barbecue sauce? quite well, as it turns out. It was able to mop this sticky spill up in a single pass. And when it comes to dried-on sauces, not surprisingly, this is more of a challenge, and it is common for this type of floor cleaner to take multiple passes to scour it off. In this case, the S30 took about 20 passes to get about 99% of the dirt off the floor. In my experience, this is about 30% more passes than some competitors. But when I moved on to spilled juice, I noticed something. The S30 was starting to push the spills forward rather than suction them up. It was almost like the roller was either too dense or not absorbent enough to help.
This is the first time I've seen this in an upright floor washer, any floor washer, so I decided to repeat my tests.
Same results with the spilled milk. You can see the roller almost squeegees the liquid forward, essentially spreading the spill over a much wider area than it was before. With the cereal, it was also not adept. With a mixed spill like this, the nose of the machine also kept pushing the liquid forward instead of sucking it up, and it struggled to pick up cereal bits too. When I back the camera up here and show you the bigger picture, you can see it's pushed a lot of the milk away from the cleaner head and left many bits on the floor. This required several more passes over the area so I could make sure it was finally clean.
It really seems to me that after using this device, it's not really suctioning up anything, like it's almost relying on the roller to absorb spills and then for it to physically kick things up into the vacuum pipe. I decided to run another test just to see what kind of suction was coming from the S30.
I ran the S30 and I waved a Kleenex in front of it. You can see here there is so little airflow coming into the machine that it's barely moving the Kleenex. Even when the roller does catch the Kleenex and pull it in, it comes right back out almost completely unscathed. I don't think that says a whole lot for how well this suction is working, and this to me sure does not look or sound like 20,000 pascals of power. Narwhal says its new brushes allowed it to add a new cleaning mode called wood floor mode, which appears to use far less water, and that combined with the new rollers did seem pretty effective with very little water residue left on my floors.
Both the S30 and the S30 Pro have a self-cleaning cycle, and on both I found it to be marginal.
In each case, the roller brush will spin on the dock for about 20 to 30 seconds, supposedly rinsing it, but it is one of the shortest cleaning cycles I've encountered. Then it does dry the mop roller with warm air to stave off mildew. Thankfully, aside from an initial burst, most of the cleaning cycle is quiet.
It is recommended to clean the dirty water tank to prevent bacterial growth.
I will actually note here the S30 does run fairly quietly while it's operating too, compared to some other competing devices. While I think the noise level can certainly be a plus, when it comes at the expense of its ability to clean, it's definitely a minus.
Let's move on to the S30 Pro here and see what additional features you can expect by paying a bit more for this version.
When it comes to detangling, the S30 Pro version actually adds a blade inside to ensure any tangles that do happen don't stick around. I ran the S30 Pro over its own hair test, and it too seemed to struggle to suction everything up, with the hair also getting jammed in the edges of the roller. Now when I look underneath, no, there's no hair wrapped around here either, but same story as the S30, the hair doesn't end up in the dustbin, it's a soggy mess compressed behind the roller.
The last thing I'll say about the hair test is that while it may seem kind of extreme and like a lot more than the average homeowner is going to need to tackle, this is a test that I've run on numerous other machines, and almost all of the competitors have been able to ace this test no problem. You'll definitely want to check out my reviews of the Tinko Artist Steam or the Roborock F25 to see what I mean.
Narwhal S30 Pro lets you add cleaning solution to a special separate tank, and the floor washer will decide the ratio of the mixture depending on the level of dirt its sensors detect. When I ran the S30 Pro over fresh mustard, it wiped it up no problem. On cereal, it too struggled to manage, with it pushing the liquid away from the cleaner head and leaving cereal bits behind. With dried barbecue sauce, it took about 15 passes, which is about 20% fewer passes than its cousin, but it still takes more scouring from this machine than it does from competing machines, in my opinion. When it comes to the cleaning tests, the S30 Pro performs only marginally better than its lower-priced cousin. It might have done a slightly better job at picking up cereal, but since it too pushes liquids away from the cleaning head and doesn't seem to have powerful suction, it's not deserving of top marks. In fact, after trying out both of these machines, I don't really feel like the S30 Pro is actually a significantly better product than the S30.
Overall, the Narwhal S30 and S30 Pro come with some interesting innovations that I've never seen before in other competing floor washers. At the same time, while they can brag about niche features, they seem lacking where it counts. Let's go over both the pros and the cons of these devices so you can see if they might be right for you.
On the pro side, both these machines are light and maneuverable. They're easy to set up and easy to use, with deodorizing pucks for the dirty water tank to keep smells down, plus really good edge cleaning, and the lay flat design. They do have some good features. They also run fairly quietly. When it comes to the downsides, I think that list is going to be longer, and the biggest detractor will be the very subpar cleaning results. I believe the roller brush isn't very absorbent, and it impedes the machine's ability to clean well, and in test after test, the rollers just pushed spills around over a wider area. Huge downside. The machine's suction power actually seems suspect. They're not really great at picking up mixed debris like cereal or hair. The self-cleaning cycle is really short, and while I found the anti-tangle claim to be true, the fact that neither of the machines will suction up the hair into the waste bin and instead jam it up behind the roller brush kind of defeats that purpose. I also didn't feel the waste separator bags improved things very much.
In short, while these machines do have several pros, for me it comes down to the cleaning, and when they can't necessarily be relied on to do a great job at that all the time, my recommendation would be to take a pass. The S30 Pro is priced at $549, while the S30 regular is priced at $449. And if you're looking to see how something like these machines compares to the competition, check out the other two machines I mentioned, the Roborock F25 or the Tinco Artist Steam, right now.